This might be my most important Sorare video so far. It is winter break in most big football leagues around the world. Your players might not be playing. You're not getting any rewards right now. You're getting impatient. And you're asking yourself, what do you do now? Before you sell or buy any players in completely reactionary decisions now, make sure you watch this video until the end because I'm going to show you the #1 mistake that most people will be making now during this winter break and then tell you a much smarter strategy that you should follow right now, especially if you're a new Sorare player. So the big issue right now, it is Christmas break/winter break. We're going into the next game week and we see that there's only the Belgian League, the Turkish Super League and one Premier League game. So a lot of people are now freaking out and being like, oh my god, my players aren't playing. What am I going to do? Am I going to buy players from these leagues? And I'm telling you this immediately. This is not financial advice. I'm just giving my own opinion. But fuck no, don't. And why? Because you're simply too late. Those players are already in the hype. There's a lot of people thinking like you. They want to keep winning rewards during this small winter break. So they're going to go for Belgian players, for Turkish League players, and maybe for the few Premier League players that there are who are overpriced anyways. In these leagues, you should have invested 1 or 2 months ago already because now they are just too expensive. And on Sorare, it's very important that you don't make any panic buys. Don't make quick decisions without any research just because you want your player to have FOMO, which is fear of missing out. You want those rewards quickly, and that is just not good. 99% of the time, you're gonna lose money with that. Trust me, I've been there before. I needed a player on Tuesday or Friday before the deadlines to send in your teams for the weekly competition. I bought him overpriced. The prices are always more expensive on these days because the people know that others need their players now. And the same thing goes for the winter break. Now, instead, what you rather want to do is 2 things. #1, stay chilled. Stay relaxed. You probably have a lot of players from leagues like the Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, and those don't even have long winter breaks. The Bundesliga is back on 7th of January. It's just 2 weeks now. Just have a good time, maybe with your family and friends. Chill out. You can go without a few weeks of rewards. And then in January, you're going to attack again with your team. No need for FOMO or panic buys. And then #2, this is what I'm going to do as well. If you still want to invest on top of that during this winter break, you have to do what the majority doesn't do. You have to go for leagues that have a long winter break. Leagues that don't play through winter, that don't continue in January. Leagues that are only coming back in February or March. Great examples here are the Russian Premier League, the Austrian Bundesliga, the MLS, the J League from Japan, and the K League from South Korea. So if you have some spare money left, you definitely want to go for players from these leagues simply because they have massively dropped in price, most of them, and it's very likely that many of those are going to bounce back once those leagues continue. You know, people are impatient and they want to get rid of these players right now, but if you have the patience, you can wait 2 months with no result, then you will reap the rewards in February or March. Let's take my Akinfeev I bought last episode as an example here. I maybe even bought him too early because he was at over 1,000 euros, 1,150 euros peak price here in October, and then kept dropping all the way down. Now with a little bit of luck, you might get him for under 600 euros, which is half the price. While this guy from the Belgian League with similar stats shows a very different graph here. He was at around 600 euros in October, and now he's all the way up to 800 euros, maybe even more. Was even sold for 900 euros plus. So on Sorare, you always need to invest anti-cyclical. Is that a word in English? I don't know, but you get what I mean. I've already explained this strategy in more detail in one of my other Sorare videos. Check this out if you haven't, but it's clear that on Sorare, you need to invest in stuff when nobody wants it, and you need to sell it when everybody wants it. And right now, the majority of Sorare players just don't want the Austrian League, the Russian League, MLS, K League, and J League. Once again, no financial advice. Go make your own research. I don't care what you do with your money. I'm just showing you transparently what I'm doing and give you some tips on the way that maybe can help you on your Sorare journey or not. So now I'm going to show you which investments I made and am making during this winter break and how I'm preparing for the restart of those leagues in spring. So you already know I bought Igor Akinfeev last episode for a little bit less than 800 euros, and it turned out I was even too early because as you saw, he kept dropping. But I still had 1 match day with him and he really helped me get that 0.02 Ethereum this time. Akinfeev scored 70 points and that gave me my best ever result with my rare team, 312 points. I even got very close to winning my first rare card here. I finished top 1000, 714th, and that gave me 0.02 Ethereum again, which is over 70 euros. You also know I bought my Zenit team 1 match day before the league stopped, and there again was a little bit too early. Should have waited until the last match day is over because there I didn't even get any good results because 2 of these didn't play, and now they are all a little bit cheaper. But that was a very good learning and tells me that we can invest now. And in the last video I told you we're gonna buy a goalie that plays more or less through winter, and it was between Emil Audero and Paul Nardi. I decided for Paul Nardi and tried bidding for him so many times. I got rejected every time and realized that he even rose in price. So I made the decision, no, I think it's smarter to use my money on leagues that have a long winter break, just the strategy that I'm showing you right now. So I stayed away from this signing. First of all, I bought Igor Akinfeev for a second time. Why did I do that? Well, the first time I slightly overpaid. I paid almost 800 euros, as I told you. I'm pretty sure he will rise, still pretty sure. So why not just pick him up for a cheaper price, so I even get a cheaper average price? In the investing community, you would call that buy the dip. And I did just that and picked up a second Igor Akinfeev card for around 550 euros. So my average price for my 2 Akinfeevs is now around 675 euros. And once he rises above that next January or February, I have made a profit, and I'm pretty sure that will happen. Then I stick to the Russian league and bought another Russian goalie, namely Anton Kochenkov from Arsenal Tula. And this guy in general, in my opinion, has been constantly a little bit undervalued. He's a 34-year-old goalie who joined Arsenal Tula this summer from Lokomotiv Moscow, and he is the starter. You can see 88% starting 11, despite the fact that Arsenal Tula have a younger goalie, Egor Shamov, who I don't know, but he's 7 years younger than Anton Kochenkov, and he also has a higher market value. Anton Kochenkov starts, but I think this is an extra factor why he is so cheap now, because some people expect the younger guy, Egor Shamov, to become the starter at the start of the second round of the league. So my guy Anton Kochenkov here dropped from around 800 euros or 780 peak in October all the way down to now a little over 300 euros. I myself picked him up for 370 euros. You can see that right here, 372, and even though I doubt that he will get back all the way to this level here, 800, because just the chance that the younger keeper is taking over in summer is too big, but I still think that he will easily go back to around 500 euros. I just think this is a steal for a rare starting goalie, and that even in a European league. Then I made a surprising signing, no less than Emil Forsberg. Now you might be asking yourselves, bro, Bundesliga? Didn't you talk about Austrian, Russian, American, Asian leagues? Yes, I did. But not only those leagues are interesting, but also players that are injured in general. Because just like players from those leagues that aren't playing for a long time, these injured players also don't have big hype right now. And Emil Forsberg sadly got injured just a few minutes into the last Bundesliga game of 2021, and RB Leipzig have already confirmed that he's going to be out for at least 8 weeks. So that means we can expect him back at the earliest mid-February, probably though end of February and maybe even start of March. And that also showed in his price on Sorare, of course. He was already dropping from 1,300 euros in October when he was really balling. Then he had a slight drop of form. He was dropping to around 700 euros here. Right before his injury, he was still 750 euros. But then immediately people realized he's not going to play for 8 weeks. Bam, all the way down to 550 euros right now. That is his price currently. So that's way less than half of what he still was in October. I managed to pick up my Emil Forsberg for 546 euros just today. And I think an in-form and fit Emil Forsberg is a player who is among the best playmakers of the Bundesliga and just a key player for Leipzig. I don't really expect him to go all the way up to 1,300 euros, although he could if he's really on form. But I think it's only logical that once he comes back and starts playing regularly again and kind of gets back on track, he will easily rise a few hundred euros. The same thing goes for his limited card, by the way. That is now around 45 euros, even though before the injury it was still around 70, 80 euros. And since I'm really convinced, I picked up this one as well for a good price in my opinion of only 40 euros. So as you see, this investing strategy is not only linked to leagues that don't play, but also individual players that won't play for a few weeks or months. And that's also kind of why I made this signing. Zilas, formerly Wamangituka, now Katompa Mwumpa. The man changed his name and he was banned for that for a few months, but he also had a torn ACL and that took him out for half a year or so. One of Stuttgart's key players in the Bundesliga last season and a breakout star. He came back around 1 month ago, and I'm going to show you how people reacted to this, how his price reacted to Zela's comeback. So shortly after this card came out last October, he dropped to a little bit below 100 euros, and from there people were awaiting his comeback. The people were hyped to see him back on the pitch, so he kept rising all the way up here in November to boom, almost 200 euros. A few were sold for more than that at the end of November, start of December, and that was when he was coming back. But since then he hasn't gone back up, he's actually gone back down to a little over 100 euros. Now he's around 110 euros. And why would that be? Simple, because many people were expecting him to come back just as he was here. Very sick player. He scored amazing points before his injury, but then he came back and he only got a few cameo appearances. He wasn't really fully fit yet and he wasn't his former self yet. So then the people that invested in him quickly got rid of him and thought like, oh my god. They started panicking and quickly sold him again. So that's why he's now back to this price. I took advantage of that because I know, or at least I strongly believe, that he's gonna get back to his former level sooner or or later. I mean, the man is just 23, so I picked him up for 110 euros. And I think he might easily get back to 150 very easily once he gets 1-2 good games in the second round of the season. And if he gets back to his former level, easy 200 euros for me, my opinion. And with my remaining money in the wallet, I'm still trying to get my hands on a few players like a Kochenkov again. I would try to pick him up again. John Cordoba is interesting from the Russian Premier League. Also, he's injured right now. FK Krasnodar, and he also dropped massively, so might be an option as well. And then a few other cards. I'm always trying to invest in smaller cards as well, so I'm going to keep you updated on that in the next episode, how that went. And last but not least, even though it doesn't really matter right now, much more interesting after the winter break, our stats, the numbers. The investment's still the same. Ever since I started the series, I didn't invest any new money. We didn't win any Ethereum rewards this week, and also no card rewards and only 2 referral rewards. So very slow week there, but I mean, it's normal. There weren't many games this week. It is Christmas time. After all our investments, our squad value has massively increased from 4,304 euros to now 6,010 euros. So that is good. A few weeks back, I told you we have so much or relatively much money in our wallet and we need to use that. So I did invest, and our squad value since then has almost doubled, 1.27 Ethereum as well. Of course, our wallet is now only 886 euros. This is our wallet in Ethereum, and total value of our whole Sorare club is 6,897 euros. In Ethereum, almost 2. This is actually even the more important stat in my opinion, since this shows us how well we're actually doing within Sorare, while the rest is just influenced by is Ethereum rising or falling, which we can't influence. So total profits is still around the same, and we do have a long way to go. In 2022, we're looking to bring down those 93,103 euros to as close to zero as we can, because that would mean that we've reached our goal of building a 100,000 euro Sorare club. And I'm very hyped to see how the next months here will play out, how all those stats will look, and where we will be right down here at the end of 2022. So that was it from me with my last Sorare video of 2021. See you all back in 2022. I'm so glad I started this series here on my channel, and you guys seem to love it, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're gonna be back with a bang, hopefully hitting our goal in 2022 maybe already. If you want to invest, I can definitely recommend players that are currently not hyped, and then you want to sell them in the hype. I think that is the superior strategy if you want to profit off Sorare. But again, it's just the personal opinion of a 20-year-old idiot sitting in his room in Germany. Sorare Fiago is out. Until next year, guys. Peace.